Rolling.
Not rolling. Hang on. There we are.
Are you rolling?
Yep.
You host this one. I'll host the next one.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, 2, 3. Mic test. Mic test. Clap. And 3, 2, 1. Go.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Trio Planet, the YouTube channel where we talk all things media. And because we are lacking in review content recently, thanks to the severe lack of reviewable shows coming out, we're doing another tier list. Last week we did Marvel, the MCU movies, and the Star Wars franchise. Most of the shows and movies, some of them weren't on the thing, but that doesn't matter. Today, we are doing Assassin's Creed, because it's a game franchise that me and Jordan really do appreciate. As always, I am joined by Jordan.
Hey, everybody.
So yeah, we're doing all of the mainline Assassin's Creed games, the offshoots, the like Russia, China, and what's the other one? Japan.
Japan, yeah, I think.
They're not including this. These are mainline entries plus Liberation.
Yeah.
Because it's technically part of the remastered AC3.
Yeah.
So obviously we've got our tier list up. It's more gamey this time. We've got obviously GOAT up there, greatest of all time. I think for the purpose of being pedantic, Jordan, I think for GOAT we should only be allowed to put one entry in there.
Yeah,
that is the definitive greatest of all time.
I will agree with that. Yeah.
Almost Perfect will be the top tier Assassin's Creed. That would be the highest tier. The greatest of all time is its own entry.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So we have taken the time to place them in release order.
Yeah.
Because that's just easier to wrap our head around, and it's easier for you guys to visualize where we are in the timeline of release.
Valhalla is the only one that's come out.
Yes, so the Valhalla is the most recent game that has been released. Obviously, Mirage, which we do have a speculation and trailer reaction up on the channel somewhere.
Yeah,
I remember doing that.
will. If I remember, guys, I'll pin it as the suggested video for you.
So let's jump right into this with Assassin's Creed, the first entry into this stellar franchise, Jordan.
I remember playing this game when the franchise first began, and I didn't think it would grow and continue as it did. I didn't think this would become a thing. Like, I didn't even know game franchises were like a massive thing when I was younger until Assassin's Creed. I don't think it's the GOAT game though.
I don't think it's the GOAT game. I have an idea which, like, there are like 3 which I am contemplating putting up in GOAT, and they're all from different eras of Assassin's Creed.
But yeah, there's no air assassination in the game, which annoyed the fuck out of me when.
I think it's a limitation of hardware.
Yeah, because you couldn't air assassinate, so you had to go on the ground. You had to be a lot more precise and stuff with it. The game overall, good story. Altair is an amazing, protagonist, great villains, and yeah, overall, I think it's a good game.
Off-brand, but I do think that the first Assassin's Creed has got some of the best traversal in the series.
Yeah.
It has got some traversal moves that the later entries don't have, like vaulting.
Yeah, I'll agree on that. Yeah, true.
You can actually vault if you do the button combinations correctly. When you're parkouring, you can actually vault over an edge and hang from it instead of just jumping off. So
Yeah,
you can actually descend, which I think is a really good thing that they didn't bring back until Unity.
You've also got our, non-assassin, well, out of the Animus character, Desmond Miles.
Oh, Desmond.
This is where we got introduced to Desmond. Probably the better one out of all of the ones we've played.
Yeah.
He went up all the way through to 3, and his stuff.
Somewhat into Black Flag as well, because they're still using
Yeah,
his DNA.
yeah. Basically, Assassin's Creed is still a Desmond Miles like game. Because I think which one were it? It was either Origins, Odyssey, or Valhalla, where there was this character who showed up, and
His
it's
dad,
what?
William Miles, his dad, is still in
No,
it.
no. The
Oh
guy who
yes,
voices
the
Desmond plays this other character.
the reader, the
Yeah,
guy inside the simulation thing.
yeah, and everyone theorizes that actually
That's
is
That's
Desmond.
Desmond.
Everyone says it's Desmond, and that's where he ended up.
I'll be honest with you. If it comes back and they're going down this route and it's not Desmond,
And if you guys remember as well, the game when it first started, the game was always about Juno and all that stuff. That went to Syndicate, didn't it? The whole Juno and all
yeah.
that story went all the way down to Syndicate.
Um, it went
But
up to it went up to 3, where it like culminated in the death of Desmond,
yeah,
and then afterwards they were sort of like glimpsed with like the
yeah.
same from Black Flag
Because
onward.
Black Flag, there was a sage who was in the
It's
modern.
like a
Yeah,
reincarnation of like a member of the Isu.
yeah, and he was a lover of Juno. He was like one of their lovers or something.
And I do very much like the Sage identity with
Yeah,
the heterochromia,
yeah,
where they've got the 2 different eye colors.
yeah. You can. That's how you tell us who is a sage. And basically, they have different eye colors, and that's how you tell. And basically, that one in Black Flag attacks the main character, and is basically because he's in love. He loves Juno, and he, if I remember, and then you have I can't remember what did Rogue have.
Rogue was Templar thing. He
Yeah,
played the Templar.
I mean when it came to, and then you have like all the Juno story, but the Juno story ended with Syndicate in game wise because they actually ended the Juno story in the comics. The Juno story actually, all that era ended with comic books instead of games. As you know, guys, comic books of Assassin's Creed are canon, and apparently the story wasn't that good. Apparently, what happened was Juno got made. I think it was Juno, yeah. Had a body, a physical body in modern day created for her, and she possessed it, and the modern day assassins dealt with her, and that's how it ended.
Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff.
Yeah, basically, like the Templars brought her back in her body, and then the assassins dealt with her because she would have brought chaos to the world. But yeah, that's how that ended. First
She
game,
played the first game
I want to know
in this.
where you're going to put it.
I think this game is good. I think this game goes into the good section.
I
I
am
think
going to agree.
it is as middle of the road as the games are nowadays, but because it's the start of the franchise, I think because of the building blocks it plays, it's a solid entry and it's a very good game. If
Yeah,
you've never played the original Assassin's Creed, I do. You can get it very cheap nowadays
yeah.
on
Nowadays you
like
can.
PC, and it's a very fun play. And
Yeah,
they're probably going to remaster it sometime.
I'm hoping that they remaster it. It's the only one they haven't, and it needs remastering. It needs either that or a full on remake.
Yeah,
Either a remaster or a full on remake with like different mechanics. Um,
Now we get into the meat and potato,
Hey.
the Ezio trilogy, Assassin's Creed 2, Jordan. So yeah, we're on AC2 now. Jordan just had to go deal with a little issue, but we're moving promptly ahead to Assassin's Creed 2, the first entry in the Ezio trilogy of games. What do you think, Jordan?
Ezio 2 was what. Ezio 2. Assassin's Creed 2 is what defined me as an Assassin's Creed fan.
I'm gonna say it was. Was it my? No, it was my fifth game that I played in the franchise. I played AC3, Black Flag, Rogue, Unity, and then AC2. And up until that point, I'd only heard about how good Ezio was.
To me,
But
Ezio is the best character. And I'm not saying that because of what other people say, because a lot of people do say Ezio's the best character, and people end up getting annoyed at them for it. But to me, Ezio is my favorite assassin because I think he's a lot more mentory. He's a mentor. He has three great games where we see different periods of his life and is intertwined with Altair's story. And throughout it, he's learning, he's teaching himself, he's growing as a person throughout.
I think some of the greatest characters come from trilogies.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you've got Ezio Auditore, you've got Commander Shepard from Mass Effect, you've got who's another? You've got Kratos from God of War. Even though it's not a trilogy, you've got John Marston from Red Dead. A lot of like the greatest characters in gaming history have come from trilogies, and those that haven't have had stellar game entries, like people like Arthur Morgan again from Red Dead, people like Cal Kestis, who's just got his second game. You know, he's entering if he
Like
gets a
all the
trilogy.
characters in Jedi, Fallen Order, and Survivor are very fleshed out. Like we know them, and we just fucking love them. Like
And the greatest thing about
Cal,
trilogies,
Merrin, Sia, Grease, they're amazing characters.
yeah, and the greatest thing about trilogies is you get to spend more time with these characters, and it
Exactly.
becomes impactful. Because I remember playing the Mass Effect trilogy for the first time, all the way through, and by the end of it, when you've done all the story and all the DLC, and you've assembled this like galaxy to fight this enemy, and they're all following your character because he's the greatest leader that the galaxy's ever seen, you feel accomplished because you're like, I've managed to not only unite Earth, but I've managed to unite a galactic population on a level that's never been seen before.
Same with Ezio because
Yeah,
Ezio
uniting the Brotherhood.
first game he started off being a arrogant little child.
It's the worst phase of Ezio.
Yeah. First, he started off with an arrogant little child where he thought he could do everything in the beginning, but then he saw his family die. He wanted to train. He wanted to hone his skills. He wanted revenge, but he learned that revenge isn't the way. He learned that these people do need to die, but not for revenge. He then second Brotherhood. He was grown more. He had become a mentor. Kind of. Well, he wasn't a mentor yet. And then for the rest of the game, near the end, he became the leader of the group. He became the assassin's full-on mentor, and he just grew up to great standing and became a character to be reckoned with.
As for the first game in the trilogy, AC2, where would you place it on the spectrum? And keep in mind, there are two other games in this trilogy, and I assume people are going to judge you because people have got very, very strong feelings about this trilogy. Some people have got very strong feelings about certain games within it. Where would you place AC2, Jordan?
So for us, almost perfect isn't that bad now. It's basically it's
Almost Perfect could just be called Perfect at this
okay.
point.
You know what?
Um,
I'm actually just gonna rename
I'm
it.
I'm going to edit it to just Perfect because GOAT means that it is the greatest in the franchise.
Right, so we've
Perfect
edited
means
it
that
to be
the game
perfect.
is not flawless, but in our eyes, it is as good as it needs to be.
Yeah. So Assassin's Creed 2. So to be honest though, I was tempted to put this in GOAT,
I'm going to put AC2 in awesome game. I
but
think it's an awesome game, but I don't think it is perfect.
I am gonna put it in awesome game. I was tempted to put it in GOAT, but then I realised no,
There
I'm
are
gonna
there are
save
some
that.
options in
Yeah.
this.
I do think I don't know if you feel that way, but is one of the Ezio games GOAT?
No,
No, so an Ezio game isn't GOATed for you.
it's the Ezio trilogy. If it was just the Ezio trilogy, it would be good because it's the entire like collection of Ezio's like character art. I think for the one game characters, it's easier to say that that game's goated because the character has got its full development.
Yeah.
I think you know where I'm probably going to go with my goat. If you really thought about how, like we've discussed Assassin's Creed in the past, you probably
Yeah,
know
I
who my
know where
favorite
I know.
character is.
Black Flag.
Yeah,
Yeah, I knew that.
it's between Black Flag, Unity, and Origins for me for goat. I'm sort of still battling it out in my head. Um, as for the Ezio trilogy, I'm just going to do Brotherhood and Revelations now because we've spoke about the entire trilogy. I think Brotherhood is perfect,
I'm agreeing with you.
and I think Revelations is good and is better than AC1. So my ranking
I think this
goes
is where we're gonna deter a bit. I am putting Revelations also imperfect
okay. I just because it's in good doesn't necessarily mean that it's
because
got like massive
yeah,
flaws. The issue I
I
have with Revelations is more so Ezio's age. For the age that he is in that game, he really shouldn't be able to do some of the feats he's capable of doing. Obviously, you suspend your disbelief because it's a game.
yeah, that's when I played that one. I suspend my disbelief and be like, "Yep, I'm just gonna leave it. I'm just gonna let it happen."
I mean, the speech after the death of Yusuf, spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't played Revelations, um, was probably one of my favourite speeches in gaming.
I was definitely wearing my hat all the way through this video.
Um, but I think the arrogant Ezio in AC2 and the like masterful, competent Ezio in Brotherhood outweighs the skilled at E
Well, for me,
Revelations.
Brotherhood is above Revelation anyway, but they're in the same thing for me.
Yeah. I just think there are games in the franchise that are slightly better than Revelations from a gameplay perspective.
Yeah.
However, the story is still pretty good for Revelations.
Yeah, when it comes to gameplay and story, you've got to do them separate because story is good, but also like when it comes to video games, the thing that it needs greatly is gameplay.
Yeah.
Story is amazing. Story is when it comes to movies they don't have gameplay obviously, so story is everything. Action and everything
Story,
is everything.
acting,
Acting is everything.
choreography, stuff like that.
When it
In a
comes to
game,
game,
not only do you
story,
have to have the same stuff as a movie, because obviously you've got cutscenes,
yeah,
but you've also got to think about that moment to moment action.
yeah.
What is the player doing as they are
It
exploring
needs
this
to be
world?
seamless. It needs to like you need to give people replayability.
Yeah. But we
So
move
yeah.
strongly across to Assassin's Creed 3. Probably one of the more controversial games in the
A lot
early.
of people hate it. A lot of people love it.
I'm going to be honest with you. I am on the spectrum of people that tend to prefer Assassin's Creed 3. I do quite like the game.
I agree with you. Assassin's Creed 3, I think, is very underrated.
By no measure do I think it's
It's
perfect.
not perfect. No, it's
I don't even
by
think it's an
far not
awesome
perfect.
game.
It's just
I
I like the action.
Yeah, I think the fighting in
The
this game
fighting
is
is
especially
great.
brutal.
It's brutal because of like Connor. Connor is like got a brutal side to him. I think Connor at times can be a bit vague and very monotone in the way he speaks, and he seems to always be brooding. Like there's no scene where he's laughing or anything like that. And yeah, I get it, of course, but like still, other than that, I really do like the characters in this. I like the action. I like the whole story aspect and him being an assassin. And it's cool to like live in that history.
Yeah.
It's funny being an English person killing English people
Yeah.
and saying that
I,
English are the bad guys and saying that England are the bad guys.
I remember playing the game and going into towns that were controlled by the British on horseback with a sword and going fucking redcoats.
Yeah, I full on would absolutely like I'd if it came to any time whatsoever, I would fight against the
It also had
British.
one of the most emotional scenes in the game for me because, as a British person, dunking all that tea in the harbour was very difficult.
I don't like tea. I did that with fucking joy on my face.
Tears in my eyes, Jordan. Tears in my eyes. I do think that this game is good.
Yeah, I'm
And
agreeing.
I think it's below AC1 and Revelations, but I
Yeah.
do think it's good.
Right, we have
Liberation.
Liberation.
I'm gonna go meh.
Liberation.
I'm gonna go meh. I
Liberate.
really like Aveline de Grand Prix.
I
I
like
really
it. I
like
like
her.
I like the gameplay where it comes down to like you choose your outfit.
Yeah,
That is a good mechanic because you've got her slave outfit. You've got
assassin outfit.
Assassin, and then you've got her lady outfit. And then her assassin outfit is kind of different because it's not a hood, it's a hat.
Yeah,
But I think you can change it so it's a hood later on.
yeah.
Which I did. I preferred the hood. Um,
I just think that the game was limited by the
yeah,
console they chose to put it
it's
on.
because it was. Well, I played it on
I played it on
Xbox.
PC.
I played it on Xbox. It is a ported game.
Yeah, it
That's why.
struggles because of
That's why
that,
it looks the way it does. It's because it's
and it
ported.
plays the way it does.
Yeah,
The controls are somewhat ridiculous for this game.
yeah.
However, if I was going purely off of character, I would probably put this in good. However, because we've got to consider gameplay as well, I do believe it's meh because I do believe the gameplay is the game.
I'm
Great.
going with okay.
Yeah, meh might seem harsh, and it probably is a bit harsh, but I think meh is basically like it is playable,
To me, I've
but I
found
won't
a lot of
replay it.
Assassin's Creed games enjoyable.
Yeah. Speaking
Um,
of enjoyable, Jordan, Black Flag.
right, here's the thing, Will, right? Man, I'm gonna say it, and this is the only time you'll ever hear me say this, Will. Good.
Wow. I'm actually going perfect.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna go good.
I
That's
I
why I don't. That's why I did that, because I was going good, because you were going good.
no, I'm going perfect because the more I think about it, there is one character that I prefer over Edward Kenway. Only one,
I think I know who you're on about.
right?
I
Only
know.
one.
I know who you're on about.
I'm not going to say who it is
I know who
until we
you're on
get to their
about.
game,
I know.
right?
I
There is
believe I know.
there is one character, and the other character that was contending with that spot is only below Edward Kenway by
Right.
a marginal.
I am gonna go with perfect as well. Okay.
I
I
think
was
that if
going goated
Black Flag,
just because I thought you were gonna go goated, and I was like, "Eesh, okay, I'll put it down there. Okay. But to be honest,
no, I think
I think me and you might be on the same wavelength here because I do think there is a better character.
I think there is a better character in the remaining games.
Yeah.
I think there is a better character who is both better than Edward and better than Ezio and only has a single game
Yeah.
and deserved a sequel and never got it.
I already know what this guy's on about. But yeah,
Uh,
Black Flag gameplay wise and characters wise was really
oh
fun.
yeah, well,
But
it's definitely
I
my
feel
favorite
like
game.
I feel like the final battle could have been a
Is a
little
bit
bit. Yeah, cause
anticlimactic.
all you
It's
do
an
is
air
all
assassination.
you do is jump and kill the dude. I
An
get
air
that. I get
assassination.
he was an old man, but on the other
Come
hand,
on,
with
we fought the fat Pope man in
yeah,
Assassin's
and he
Creed.
was old,
Yeah.
and then but yeah, you get us to do an air assassination, and that's it. That was it. Really, that was boring.
However, the moment-to-moment gameplay, and it was what we were just talking about with Liberation. The moment-to-moment gameplay in Black Flag is phenomenal.
It really is. Yeah,
The piracy aspect was a very unique take on the Assassin's Creed formula,
being
and
a
it did
pirate
help.
doing pirate stuff was really fun.
Now we move on to what I call Black Flag 2, Assassin's Creed Rogue.
Assassin's Creed Rogue. I actually like Assassin's Creed Rogue. I'm probably one of the few people who do because
I think it's a good
I
game.
this is the game that cemented my view that neither the Templars or the Assassins were perfect.
Yeah.
Because the Assassins here kill a bunch of fucking people. They
Yeah,
they make a massive genocide happen,
yeah.
and
The reason I call it
that's why I like to
Black Flag 2,
I like Achilles in 3, but because of
yeah,
this game, it made me hate Achilles
I
a
look at it
lot
the same
more.
way. Yeah,
I liked Achilles, but then this game comes out and I fucking hate him.
the reason I call this one Black Flag 2 is because it is one of the shortest games in the franchise.
Yeah,
I believe it only has 6 sequences,
I believe so. Yeah,
which is lower than the average 10. It is 4 lower than the average 10.
yeah,
However, Shay Cormac is a very well written
he
character
is.
who has very good
He
internal
I like him
conflict.
because he's got an internal conflict. Yeah, he's an assassin who goes on a mission and fight and basically ends up being a reason why a lot of people die because he had to follow orders. And when he gets back, he learns that the assassins have fucking messed up and he has nothing, he doesn't know what to do. So what does he decide to do? He leaves the order and joins Edward Kenway, not Edward Kenway, Hatham Kenway. He joins Hatham as a Templar, hunting down his old assassin friends.
Yeah, a very compelling story,
A
and
very compelling
one
story,
that was very, very different than
and
what we were
it's
used.
very. The only reason why we're talking about this in story wise, it's still got the same mechanics that Black Flag does.
Yeah, it is basic. That's why I call it Black Flag
Yeah,
2.
and the same. It's just got new character models
It
for like
is
Achilles, and
Black
that's about it.
Flag. It is Black Flag, but set in America.
Yeah. Because if you play Black Flag, you learn that Hatham, uh, obviously, was uh, Edward's son,
Yeah.
who is fully his son, and that. And turns out he ended up being a Templar. So yeah, really, when it comes to like the Edward, Ken, when it comes to the Kenway games, uh, it goes, if I believe, it goes Black Flag, Rogue, then 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But
then Liberation.
obviously, in between, and then Liberation, but in between that, the beginning of Unity begins. The beginning of Unity and the end of Rogue happen between those two. Of course.
Speaking of Unity, it's
Where
next up.
have you put Rogue?
I've put in Awesome Game.
I'm gonna agree with you on that one. Okay.
Unity, the most controversial game in the Assassin's
It's
Creed
got an
franchise.
amazing parkour system. I'm just saying it now. That parkour system is fucking phenomenal.
There are three groups of people when it comes to Unity. There are people that hate the game because they believe it's genuinely a bad game. There are those that dislike the game because they played it at launch when it was buggy as anything and have never replayed it. And then there are the third person and my personal favourite kind of
I'm
people.
agreeing with you.
People that played it at launch when it was a buggy mess, came back to the game and realised it was the last good Assassin's Creed
Yeah,
game.
that game is fucking. I remember playing it when it originally came out, and I did enjoy it.
I
But
say it was good.
the bugs did annoy me.
Yeah.
I did finish it either way. I did actually play it a few times. Like replayed it a few
I
times
played
since.
multiplayer.
I played multiplayer. Me and you
I
have played
thought
multiplayer together.
I thought the multiplayer was
Yeah,
great.
multiplayer in this game was way better than every other Assassin's Creed multiplayer. Um, so and the story in this pretty decent.
Yeah.
It's fairly
Arno
decent.
Dorian is a pretty good character.
Yeah, he's
As
that.
much as
He
people call him
reminds
bland.
me. He reminds me of like Ezio.
Yeah.
Like in the beginning, he reminds me of Ezio and that. But like other than that, he's got like the cockiness and that of Ezio and the young mind that Ezio does. But when it comes down to business, he fucking does it.
Yeah, and then obviously you've got to consider the fact that Dead Kings finished his character arc and he became one of the most compelling characters in
Even though
the
he got
Assassin's
kicked
Creed
out of the
franchise.
Brotherhood at the end.
Yeah.
Man got kicked out of the Brotherhood.
To that end, purely because of the parkour system, I do believe it's a perfect game. Even if it was still a buggy mess,
Right,
I think
I
the
was
parkour.
wrong with which one you were going to put in goated.
Oh no, I've got my reason.
I actually know which one you're putting in goated now.
Yeah,
It's good. Yeah, I know. Right, I'm gonna go perfect as well.
Syndicate. I'm gonna be honest with you, meh. I do not like Jacob Fry.
Right, I like Evie.
I like Evie. I don't like Jacob.
Jacob annoys me so
I
fucking
also don't like
much.
Henry Green.
Um, Jacob annoys me so fucking much because he wants to be a gangster and he's an assassin.
I also don't like the main villain for this game. I think
I think the main
whatever his
villain was boring. Like all you did,
Crawford
it,
Derrick was like he never appeared
yeah.
anywhere
It was
useful other
all
than
it was all
him.
cutscenes.
Yeah,
And then
there was
at
no
the end, when
interaction,
you actually meet him in person, it's just at a party at the
and
end.
they just dance.
Yeah, they just dance together, and then you go ahead and fight him, and it's like it's just boring.
There's no feeling of sinister plot happening. It is meh.
No, I'm
It
going
is it is
meh.
so below
That's my
average.
first meh.
It's unreal.
That's my first meh.
And now we enter the RPG section.
Yeah, the RPG of the games. Origins, you're putting in good, aren't you?
Is gutted. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but like Bayek
I'm
is
sorry.
like
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys.
mwah.
I'm sorry. I'm a massive Ezio fan, but I love Origins.
I think right. The base game of Origins portrayed the obviously the origins of the Brotherhood, right? But Bayek's internal conflict as he's hunting down the men that murdered his son, and he's this like secret police of Egypt, this
Yeah.
Magi, and then he starts working for Cleopatra, and you're sat there and you're like, wow, this is actually getting intense. Then you get betrayed, and then the like ending where like Aya kills Julius Caesar, and then you move into the DLC. The Hidden Ones DLC is the single greatest DLC in Assassin's Creed history.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've played the Hidden Ones DLC.
I've seen clips. I haven't played it because I'm doing a thing right now where I'm playing through Valhalla. I finished. Because me and my mate bought Valhalla. Like edition where it came with all DLC and shit. So I'm playing that. But when I get a chance, I am gonna buy DLC for Odyssey and Origins. Probably Origins first.
The Hidden Ones DLC perfectly captures the early stages of the Brotherhood and amplifies Bayek's character tenfold. You see him not only as a mentor, but as a father again. He's caring for his assassins, not in the way that Ezio cared for them. Like Ezio helped them, and he did stuff, but he always expected something in return.
Yeah, that is true. I noticed that later on that he always like wanted something out of his team than he did anything else.
But Bayek genuinely cares about those that are serving with him,
Yeah.
not because they see him as some sort of like messiah or leader, but because they genuinely believe in what he's fighting for. And
And it's a
the
brotherhood.
the
It's
origin
a
of
real brotherhood.
the cutting of the finger was we got to see the origin of that tradition,
Yeah.
and it's because they wanted to show Bayek just how loyal they were to what he stood for.
Yeah.
And I just have to say, the gameplay, as much as the RPG features have sort of hindered Assassin's Creed recently, I think Origins is the best
Origins
incorporation.
has a linear story where you don't really choose have options. There's a definitive ending and it's a linear story. But the RPG parts of it work so well. I actually feel like I'm going to accomplish something by leveling up Bayek. So yeah, Bayek, a great character, DLC, and all that other stuff. I've got to agree with you on everything.
Yeah, I think that Bayek is by far my favorite character in the franchise. As much as I love Arno and
I love the
Edward,
fact as well that him and his wife have to like stop being together to do what they must.
yeah,
They sacrifice their relationship for a greater cause, and they even say like they're no longer Bayek or what were her name again? Aya. They are
yeah,
hidden ones,
hidden ones.
and I really like that.
I love hidden ones
Yeah.
compared to like just assassin.
Yeah, the Hidden Ones is a cool name, and I can't wait for Mirage to get more of what their history is after Origins.
Sadly, after the great origins and the creation of the hidden one,
Sadly, it's Odyssey, which we go back in time to where assassins and hidden ones never exist again.
yeah, I am going to do both Odyssey and Valhalla together because they both go in the same column of nope, and I'm never playing them again. The games are too long for their own good. They have very little to do with the actual story of Assassin's Creed. They are more about being a Spartan and a Viking than being an actual member of the conspiracy between the Templars and the Assassins
Here's
or
the
the
thing with
Hidden One.
me. I can't put any of the games in Nope, I'll never play again because I know how I'll play them again.
I have played Valhalla once since I bought it.
I know
Valhalla has been out for 3 years. I have played it
I'm
once.
putting Odyssey in meh.
I have played
It
Odyssey.
Odyssey
What?
is a Roman simulator.
It's a Greek
It's a
simulator.
Greek simulator. It's not a fucking Assassin's Creed game. So it has nothing. It doesn't do anything for Assassin's Creed at all. Like I don't even get what's in that game to even do anything with assassins. Or
If it was just like Myths of Greece,
I
and
think
that was
isn't the
the
DLC
title,
like the only thing that connects it?
the legacy of the blade is the only part that has some like something to do with the
Valhalla
hidden
for me, I prefer over Origins because
origins.
I mean Origins, Odyssey. I prefer it over Odyssey, and I'm putting Valhalla in okay.
You see, I think that because the games are so long, I'm never going to play them fully because Valhalla on my first playthrough of Valhalla to complete the entire story and all the DLC, it took like 200 hours.
I think for me, when it comes to like games like that, I don't mind playing them because it gives me something to play and something to do while I've got other stuff going on.
Also, I really dislike choice based in a thing that's meant to be based on real history. I thought I'd just mention that stupid mechanic that Ubisoft decided to put into Assassin's Creed.
Mm. Um, but yeah, this is our tier list, guys. You should be able to see mine and Will's next to each other down somewhere on the screen next to us. Let us know what you thought, I guess. But yeah,
Is that everything?
I believe so. I've got nothing else to say.
When is this video going up in compared to the one that we're going to record next?
This one, right, so we've got podcast on Thursday. This one will go Wednesday, so that means that this one's going up first.
Okay, so I do hope that you all did enjoy this tier list. Obviously, as Jordan said, you will be able to see both of ours on screen now. There is some deviation, I believe, in placement of the games. However, if you have different opinions on characters or game placement, do leave a comment. We do want to know what you guys think as well. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, do all that garbage YouTube asks you to do. If you didn't like it, dislike, because I
Tune
like
in on Saturday for another tier list.
another
as
tier
well.
list, which is one that is sort of going to be a prelude to a set of reviews based around the seasons of the Arrowverse. You are going to
You've
see
already seen one of them because we already reviewed Arrow Season 1.
Yeah, you are going to see basically our opinions before we actually review them in depth and give an actual rating.
Yeah.
As for this video, I have been your host, Azteral.
I have been your host, Slasher.
And until next time, we work in the dark to serve the light.
We work in the dark to save the light.
We forget 1,000 things every day, pal. Make sure this is one of them.
It's over, Anakin!